So far, so good. We understand that the captivity of Nnamdi Kanu is being said that all Igbos are under captivity. He was denied bail yesterday, and he defended himself at the courts, but still he was denied bail. Let's get your reaction to some of these issues.
In fact, we are seeing it from different angles. This is a multi-dimensional rascality, coming from the Nigerian judiciary. We are also looking at, how Nnamdi Kanu was being brought back from Kenya, which that matter is still on, has not been actually settled. And if you look at what has transpired ever since he was kept in EFCC custody, DSS custody, there has been a lot of illegal earthquake regarding why he should be kept there, and challenges has been coming in that. No, I don't think actually Nnamdi Kanu actually jumped bail, even though the Binta Yako was, trying to lay hand on that unnecessary excuse for his continued detention. So we know this what actually happened, and even if we are the Binta himself, if he's in a dangerous position and he has an opportunity to save his life, are you telling him that Binta will not save his own life or her own life? Of course he will, and that was exactly what Nnamdi Kanu did, and they are intentionally using it against him. So you can see the kind of radicalism they have introduced to Nigerian judiciary, and you begin to look at it very well. And you can see the whole world came down and actually condemned the process of which Nnamdi Kanu is facing retrial after Court of Appeal has actually given him, discharged and acquitted him. But the factor that is playing, is not longer what the law says, or what the constitution says. What is going on now is it seems like certain people, certain region, certain interests, certain movement who are interested in destroying the fabrics, of our nationality, is at play, and they see Nnamdi Kanu, as quite an obstacle to achieve, their radical agenda. So they are, of course, the northern Muslims and the Yoruba Muslims, who are coming with this kind of understanding on how to make sure that they continue their conquest. And Nnamdi Kanu is being seen from that perspective as the only person who is going to stand against that interest that's already on the ground. He's already on the ground. You can see what happened in Enugu. You can see what is happening in Delta. You can see how the Yorubas also came out with a kind of a press release, that certain people should leave their territory. We are also experiencing it. The Hausas are experiencing it. So that conquest agenda, Nnamdi Kanu stood against it. So another factor is this. If you look at the way the Nigerian government contravened treaties, Commonwealth treaties, through the process of that illegal rendition, that matter has to be settled first. And Nigerian government are operating on illegality, on trying Nnamdi Kanu, and that's why he's saying yes, on illegality, because see, you cannot contravene the treaty which Nigeria was signatory to because you suspected that somebody is not dancing to your tone, or is saying no, this is the right thing to do, or this is the way to go.
He's been accused of treasonable offense.
How treasonable is it? It's the Nigerian government that are treasonable against its own citizens by the way they all do their things. Is it because that we don't have our own judiciary, our own police and army to even take them to court or even charge them for treason against Nigerian citizens? That is the truth. Yes. What they are you not seeing the kind of manipulation everywhere against the interest of those whom they swore that they want to serve? Are they actually serving them? Look at let me give you an instance. The cyber security levy. What's it for? No, just tell me, what is it for? That you do a particular transaction in the bank and the government jumps into and extort your money. That is rascality. That is act of terrorism. That is that is the way they operate. So and it's quite reasonable because if you look at it, you begin to wonder whether there is actually consciousness, whether this nation as a country has consciousness or have any soul or have anything. They can sit down and say, okay, this is the direction to go. So there has been a lot of atrocities. They can be seen as executive atrocities, or you cannot do anything, you don't have what we have. At the end of the day, they use the police, they use the army, they use the judiciary to suppress us, and that is what is playing out on the issue of Nnamdi Kanu. And you can see, to an extent, the lawyers could no longer stand in for him. He entered the dock and told them, these documents you are seeing here, are you not signatories to it? You saw it. It was a clear thing. The whole thing has went viral. The whole world is watching. What is actually the problem with Nnamdi Kanu and these people? So there's a kind of, people are beginning to read, a kind of an agenda, that is why it's being kept. Okay, take me out from DSS custody, take me to court, to prison. Why are you still keeping me here? So you can see what they surrounded everything, that what actually Buhari, Malami, and Femi Adesina sat down in their secret places and they planned. Yes, you can see it playing out. You can see it playing out. And it's unfortunately that Tinubu came and inherited it and did to do the right thing. And this is somebody that is being seen as a progressive, a former Nedeko chieftain, that have once experienced the wicked hand of Nigerian government, and is in a position to do some certain things, at least that will add to his life legacies, so to say. But he's not doing it. So it's like he too is part of the plan, to dehumanize Nigerian judiciary entirely. And that is why Nnamdi Kanu said, that is the people who are running the judiciary now, they have element of terrorism in them. They are using the law, instead of reading the law, they are using the law against him, and that's an act of terrorism. There's nobody as you stand here now, you are a state. Everybody's a state, and that's the truth. Because as you are here now, you have reproductive process in you. It can turn to a nation tomorrow. So they are using that act, against him, for just no reason. And of course, the whole world is watching how the whole thing is going to play out at the end of the day. But the fact still remains, that in this country called Nigeria, the Igbos are in custody.
How do you justify that?
Yes, Nnamdi Kanu represents the consciousness of every Biafran around the world. We are talking about over 85 million Biafrans all over the world. Even those who pretend they are not, we know what is happening. This is the only part of the world where you can see somebody say he's South. Absolute rubbish. Even the people that went to school, professors from that region, are saying they are South. We know what is happening at the end of the day, and that after the tenure of Iwanyanwo, by January this next year, another person from the South, the so-called South, we emerge the organized president, and the issue is already on ground. People are changing orientation because of the Biafrans lost the war. But it's quite unfortunate, as some of them has come to say, okay, this is who we are. They are going to zone the next organized president is going to come from Ugwuocha. You know what I mean by Ugwuocha? I'm talking about Ugwuocha is an Igbo name, and it is today called the River State. That's the kind of transformation we have been having, that has been causing a lot of crisis of identity, and which is being used against Nnamdi Kanu today.
Yeah, Ipob.
It's not the Ijaws. If you ask Asari Dokubo today, to spell Ijaw, you will make a mistake. You think the spelling of Ijaw is Ajaw?
IJAW.
No, go and ask him now. You will make a mistake because they don't go to the root. They don't understand. They don't unveil. They don't dig deep. To understand some certain things. They only based on what that was sold to them, by the elements of Usman Dafodio, who are bent, on destroying anything that has to do with humanity, which the Christian kingdom represents. And that is what they're after. You can see it playing out all over the world, and you can see also the struggle, to define Middle East, with what is happening between Israel and Hamas. That subsequently there's a lot of suspicion that Ephraim Rassi, the late president, was murdered by Mossad intelligence.
That's speculation.
No. I'm just explaining what is playing on the ground. There's always time for everything. The way and manner of which they are handling Mazi Nnamdi case is not only being seen in the Nigerian context. It's not only being seen by Nigerians. People are still watching, reading different meaning into it. And the more you continue with this kind of a thing, the more the fabrics of unity continue to fall apart. So that is in that direction. So Nnamdi Kanu represents the consciousness of every Igbo.
Why some people disagree with the IPOB's ideology? Some Igbos, especially the political elite, they disagree with some of the ideologies.
Can you just tell me on the area of an ideology, that you believe some Igbo leaders, honestly, is in contest with? Because if you look at the global perspective and what self-determination is all about, according to Geneva Conventions, and of course, according to UN Human Rights Charter and the charter that empowers self-determination of indigenous people, the IPOB have never gone against humanity in that regard. What IPOB is asking is believed in non-violence to whatever they are targeting at, and that is the international standard of asking for sovereignty. So I do not see why the Igbo elites who are under oath, I know actually, should be seen to be against IPOB. No, I do not want to subscribe to that. Even if it is like that, you can still sense that most of them, has been part of, the government, so to say, and a certain level of loyalty to that. But that does not mean they are not Biafrans. The governors you see there today under Bola Ahmed Tinubu are still Biafrans. So I don't know how that assumption or that conclusion or that perception or that perspective comes into the mindset, that they are not, but because of what we are talking about today, Nnamdi Kanu represents anywhere, any place in the world. And we Igbos, and of course the Igbo Biafrans, and of course Biafrans themselves, are still watching the scenario. You can see the Mazi himself, he walked confidently into the dock. He picked his documents, and thrown Binta Yanko off balance. And of course, the federal government lawyer, by telling them the truth, bare-faced truth, and that tells you who he is and what he represents and what he believes in.
What's the definition of freedom?
My definition of freedom is where I will not be able to see any kind of intimidation or suppression, and in my area, in my geographical allocation, I do not want to see police carry arms or gun or anything or nuclear weapon. That is my definition of freedom. I want a situation where every human being on earth will be able to have access to social life, religious life, without being a threat to anybody. And the government and the world should stop the use of arms, producing arms, because see, because of the problem we brought to ourselves, you know, we have a limited time to stay on earth. So why using arms against each other? So I am totally against that, and that's my definition of freedom, and that is what IPOB as a kingdom, the first kingdom that will emerge, the first kingdom, sovereign kingdom, all over the where the whole blacks all over the world will call home, and that is Biafra. Thank you.
God bless you.